Hey fellow Nevillers, here we are again sharing our main man's wisdom. Neville Goddard, day 18 of 365. I've got my nose in Neville's first book. I didn't know it was his first book. I just realised it was when I googled it. 1939, At Your Command. As is usual with Neville, his first opening line will give you a big smack. If you've been up in his works before, you'll know what I mean. Here's how he opens it. Can man decree a thing and have it come to pass? Most decidedly he can. Man has always decreed that which has appeared in his world and is today decreeing that which is appearing in his world, and shall continue to do so as long as man is conscious of being. So, when you first read the words, can man decree a thing and it come to pass? When I first bumped into these words, I'm like, I didn't quite understand it. But having studied his works for, where are we? 14 months as of today. I read him daily, or listen to him. He's always in my ear or in my eyes, i.e. in my consciousness. So back to decreeing a thing. When we say something literally on the inside, which Neville calls our inner conversations, our inner man, that's decreeing. As in, if we think it, if we say it in here, in our consciousness, i.e. decree a thing, say a thing, declare it kind of, it does come to pass. That's the power that we have. So we best be careful what we think and say on the inside. Let's go deeper into his book. What he says later is, not one thing has ever appeared in man's world but what man has decreed that it should. I.e., when you first realise this, it's like, oh my God, everything I've said on the inside, I've created in my world. It might not be ideal, but we can change it. Never fear, Neville's here. So everything we've decreed has come to fruition out here in 3D. He continues, this you may deny, but try as you will, you cannot disprove it. For this decreeing is based upon a changeless principle. This is empowering, fellow Nevillers. And then Neville shows us his general sense of humour by telling us, no, this isn't what happens. He says it this way. He says, you do not command things to appear by your words or loud affirmations. Such vain repetition is more often than not confirmation of the opposite, and that's very true. Decreeing is ever done in consciousness. I'm starting to realise how many times Neville uses the word consciousness throughout his books. Because as we know, consciousness is the only reality. You can read that a million times, be told it a million times, and still not actually get the realization of it. So let's continue. Neville then moves our attention to the Bible by saying this. When the Bible is read in this light, you will find it to be the greatest scientific book ever written. Instead of looking upon the Bible as the historical record of an ancient civilization, or the biography of the unusual life of Jesus, see it as a great psychological drama taking place in the consciousness of man, i.e. generic man. And here comes something we can claim today. Claim it as your own, and you will suddenly transform your world from the barren deserts of Egypt to the promised land of Canaan. So, fellow Nevillers, when I first read one of Neville's other books, at the end of it, I was left with the thought, this is my biography. I'll be sharing the book because I can't remember at the minute. Now let's continue. From the Bible, he says this about Moses. Moses discovered God to be man's awareness of being. When he declared these little understood words, I am hath sent me unto you. Then he shares the awareness of being as God is stated hundreds of times in the New Testament. So, the awareness of being is the door through which the manifestations of life pass into the world of form, out here, world of form. So they pass through our consciousness into the world out here. Consciousness is the resurrecting power, resurrecting that which man is conscious of being. Man is ever out picturing that which he is conscious of being. Now we pay attention to this, or I do. It says this. This is the truth that makes man free, for man is either self-imprisoned or self-freed. I'm sure you lovelies out there can attest to this. I know I can. We can either free ourselves or continue to struggle. Let's not do that. Then Neville's lovely and shares with us how awareness of being and God make the manifestations. In the awareness of being, all things are possible, he said. You shall decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. This is his decreeing, rising in consciousness to the naturalness of being the thing desired. So basically, fellow Nevillers, you have to rise in consciousness till your wish fulfilled, your desire, your ideal, what you want to be aware of being. Then Neville shares exactly how we can do this. He also tells us not to worry about how it's going to come to us. That's easier said than done, I know. He says this too. Consciousness is the way or door through which things appear. He said, I am the way, not I, John Smith, am the way, but I am. The awareness of being is the way through which the thing shall come. This is why we are to keep impressing what we want, keep revisiting our wish in consciousness, i.e. we think about it, we're ruminating about it, it's in our consciousness. And then he says the signs always follow, they never precede. Things have no reality other than in consciousness. Love this line. Therefore, get the consciousness first, and the thing is compelled to appear, i.e. whatever it is that you want. I've been using I'm successful, I'm an amazing teacher, something like that. I've got a car, I've got a home, I've got a wonderful husband, wife, blah, blah, blah. That is what you want to impress into your consciousness all the time. Once you've impressed your consciousness, things are going to appear. They don't appear before you get the consciousness. He says that is you, John Smith, or me, or you viewing, have no reason to believe that that which you now desire is possible. but having discovered your awareness of being to be God, you make this awareness your husband and conceive a man-child, i.e. manifestation of the Lord. For thy Maker is thine husband. The Lord of hosts is his name. The Lord God of the whole earth shall he be called. Your ideal or ambition is this conception. The first command to her, Mary, which we are from the Bible, which is now to yourself, is go tell no man. What he means by this is don't share your wish, desire, or what it is you want, your ideal, with anyone, because they're only going to echo your fears. And that's totally true. I've had this happen to myself, and now I don't share what I'm wanting. Well, except with you guys. And just to reiterate this point, he says, secrecy is the first law to be observed in realizing your desire. The second, as we are told in the story of Mary, is to magnify the Lord. So we have identified the Lord as your awareness of being. Therefore, to magnify the Lord is to revalue or expand one's present conception of oneself to the point where this revaluation becomes natural, i.e. from successful to successful. When you naturally feel yourself, sense yourself, know yourself as successful, that's when you'll get successfulness, if that's a real word. Neville says it a lot nicer than me. He says it this way: when this naturalness is attained, you give birth by becoming that which you are one with in consciousness. Then we have another Bible quote which helps cement what Neville's trying to teach us. He says, two shall agree as touching anything, and it shall be established on earth. Then he says, this agreement is never made between two persons. It is between the awareness and the thing desired. You are now conscious of being. So you are actually saying to yourself, without using words, I am. Now, if it is a state of health that you are desirous of attaining, before you have any evidence of health in your world, you begin to feel yourself healthy. There's that magic word Neville uses and tries to drum into our heads, awareness, consciousness. Feeling. It's really important, my lovelies. And the very second the feeling I am healthy is attained, the two have agreed, that is, I am and health have agreed to be one. And this agreement ever results in the birth of a child, which is the thing agreed upon, in this case, health. And because I made the agreement, health is expressed. And then we have a wonderful lesson or technique that we can use. I'll share that with you, my lovelies. It says, if you would transcend this level, you must leave behind all that is now your present self or conception of yourself. To do this, take your attention away from all that is now your problem or limitation and dwell upon just being. That is, you say silently but feeling to yourself, I am. Do not condition this awareness as yet. Just declare yourself to be and continue to do so until you are lost in the feeling of just being, faceless and formless. That's such a wonderful feeling, to be faceless and formless. Be sure to do it daily, my lovelies. When this expansion of consciousness is attained, then within this formless deep of yourself, Give form to the new conception by feeling yourself to be that which you now desire yourself to be. You will find within this deep of yourself all things to be divinely possible, and that is exactly how it feels. Everything in the world which you can conceive of being is to you, within this present formless awareness, a most natural attainment. So I think we'll leave it here, fellow Nevillers, because Neville's trying to tell us how to kind of, what's the word? Well, really be one with our wish, and we do that. We can either meditate, just close our eyes, shut out the senses, get to that faceless, formless area, the deep within ourselves is how he says it, where you're not aware of anything, nothing's going on. You've got rid of all your crazy, silly thoughts that kind of interrupt your meditation. And you've got to the faceless, formless, deep of yourself. You have a sense of, yeah, everything's possible. That's when you think and ruminate on your I am this, or for example, I am successful, I am married, I am rich, I am the light of the world, something like that. I've used all of those in my I am meditations. You use whatever you want to, fellow Nevillers. But the important part of this book is realising you are God. It's your awareness of being. Ooh, there's you something to ruminate on. I was going to say for the weekend, but I'll be back again tomorrow sharing another lecture. Feel free to leave a comment if there's anything I can help you with. I'm learning myself, but I have access to coaches who know a lot more than me because they're further along their journey than I am. All right, my lovelies, thanks for your time and attention. Thumbs up, please, if you found it useful. And some love, because you know I'm all about love up here. Comments, thumbs, love, you got this. Fabulous weekend, my lovelies. See you tomorrow. Bye.